I'm Trent, aka oTradeMark, and we have the version 14 DPS rankings for you guys. First and foremost, JayCee, holy smokes. Let's just cross my name off of this list. He literally did everything this update. Subete no longer is playing the game, so literally JayCee stepped up so much. He literally tested pretty much every single unit on this list. Huge shout out as well to all the players who donated, allowed us to record tests with your units. Thank you very much. For the most part, we have all the units in the game except for the shiny secrets. So the people that typically help us are people with shiny secrets. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out to you guys is for those of you who have the Spooky Island units, they're basically identical to One Piece units. So if you're wondering how they measure up, they pretty much tested exactly how their index damage indicates, identical to One Piece world characters of the same rarity. So that's the first thing. The next thing that you will notice on this list is that there's only one exception to units being out of order this update. I mean, that's kind of happened ever since they did the rebalancing how the damage formula works. Characters are supposed to be in order of their world progression. So the lower the world that you obtain a unit from, the weaker it should be for that specific rarity. The only exception for this rule in this update is Heathcliff or Landmine. I'm not sure why his in-game name is Landmine, but Heathcliff is basically just slightly better than Stark, but Heathcliff has always tested better than he's supposed to be, so that's not really a surprise. Everything else is pretty much back into order. Alright, so as expected, Shiny Julius is the best unit in the game right now, followed by the highest 5 worlds of shiny secrets. So right in world order, we have Joan of Arc, Shiny Estarossa, Shiny Boros, and Shiny Sukuna. Now, if you're fortunate enough to get a shiny secret, they are going to stay relevant for many updates. You'll notice that like even Shiny Eto down here, right, is 13th best unit in the game. So, you know, any shiny secret that if you're fortunate enough to get one of those, is an incredible unit. Demon Asta rounds up. So Shiny Demon Asta is basically the best feasible unit to go after. And especially this update, you're going to see a lot more shiny raid units this update. The reason being is that we have the time trial shiny chance upgrades that a lot more people are getting this update. You also have max opens that were introduced, so you're going to be able to utilize your like golden lucky boost or lucky boost more effectively. And for those of you with like mid luck that don't have many game passes, it's going to be much easier for you to actually obtain shiny mythics this update with the improvements that have been made to obtaining shinies. Next up, we have Shiny Saber Altar, who tested well again. Great unit. Hopefully a lot of you got this because Fate was there for like 5 weeks, way longer period of time that people were opening in Destiny Island than previous worlds. So hopefully a lot of you had enough time to collect 5 shiny mythics and craft your shiny raid unit. Again, a great unit, 7th best in the game. Now, Shiny Aizen and Shiny Alice, you'll notice their times are actually crossed out along with Eto, or Shiny Eto. These are the 3 units in the game that we were not able to obtain at level 155 to do a time to kill test on. So we just kind of estimated their time to kill. Aizen and Alice should be pretty close to each other, and Eto right here, we just put her in world alignment basically. You can kind of also look at the regular secrets to get an idea. This update, Aizen did test better than Alice, which was last update he actually tested worse. So it's good news that he's back in world alignment. Those 2 right there. Okay, so I get asked this a lot, but a lot of people will ask me, hey, I have some shiny mythics from a previous world. Is it worth it for me to leave Black Clover or leave the newest world that's come out and go back and open in an older world in order to get the shiny mythics necessary to craft my shiny raid unit. And usually what I tell people is that if you have at least 3 shiny mythics, it is definitely worth it to go back and finish up that shiny raid unit. There is such a jump in power when you craft a shiny raid unit that if you're 3/5 of the way there, you know, you have 3 shiny mythics in, let's say, One Punch Man, it is definitely worth it to go back and get the last 2 Saitamas so that you can craft your shiny Sirius Saitama. Okay. It's a huge boost in damage. You'll notice that Saitama is all the way down here at 38th, and then shiny Sirius Saitama is all the way up here at 12th. So huge boost in damage. Definitely go back and craft your shiny raid units if, again, you have at least 3 shiny mythics in that world. I wouldn't worry about going way back. Like if you have 5 shiny Piccolos, you know, it's not very important to go all the way back to the world 1 or the early worlds to actually craft your shiny raids. But if you have shiny mythics in any of the top like 7 to 8 worlds, it's definitely worth it to go back and finish crafting your shiny raid units. Next unit I want to talk about is the first base secret. So you'll see here Julius is about equivalent to a shiny Killua or a shiny Hawks. So he's still an incredible unit in the game. And this is why I always recommend that players open in the highest world possible, because not only are you getting the XP from these units, if you get lucky and you get a Julius, well then, I mean, you got like the 21st best unit in the game just by doing that. So, yeah, you have Julius right here, Joan of Arc as well, and then shiny Yuno. A lot of people underestimate shiny mythics. A shiny mythic is an incredible unit. It's almost as good as a secret in a lot of situations. Like you look right here, shiny Yuno is testing almost as good as Julius. And a lot of people won't actually put shiny mythics into their team because they're afraid of losing levels when they craft their shiny raid unit. So if you guys didn't know, if you have a shiny mythic, whenever you craft your shiny raid unit, that the levels of the 5 shiny mythics that you use are averaged. So if you have 1 shiny mythic that you level up and the other 4 are still at base level, you're going to lose a lot of levels as it comes back down and averages that out. But I tell people that's actually okay, because the value that you get by using the shiny mythic in your team in the meantime is still worth it. Especially if you're like a free-to-play player or you don't have a very high luck value and you just get like a lucky shiny mythic pull, use that unit and level it up. Don't worry about it, because it's going to be a long time until you collect those other 4 shiny mythics that you need to craft your shiny raid character. So, you know, take advantage of those shiny mythic characters. Next of all, we have like the mid-tier shiny raid characters. We have some more shiny mythics. We have, you know, interspersed with some shiny secrets and regular secrets, etc. But the next unit that I really want to talk about is Demon Asta right here. So Demon Asta is the best regular raid character, raid fighter in the game, and it is the fighter which I would recommend all free-to-play players go after. Free-to-play players, the easiest way to make your team good without spending money on on game passes that make it much easier to get shiny mythics and secrets, is to go for these regular raid units. And the reason why is because of Mythical Pity. You can guarantee yourself after a certain amount of opens that you're gonna get 3 Yunos, that you're gonna get 3 Gilgamesh. The point is that because of that Mythical Pity, I always recommend free-to-play players focus on, you know, the highest 4 or 5 worlds regular raid characters. And I also recommend that you get a variety of characters from different worlds. Even though it might sound like it's good to get, if you're a free-to-play player, to have 4 Demon Astas as your main damage-dealing team, it's actually not. Because if you think about it, not only do you have to get the shards to craft 4 Demon Astas, you also need to get the shards to roll passives on your characters. So instead, what I recommend to players is, like, the ideal free-to-play team right now would be Demon Asta, Saber Alter, Demon Meliodas, and Sirius Saitama. So you'd have the highest 4 raid units in the game. And that way, every time that there's a raid, there's a 4 in 16 chance, or 1/4, 25% chance basically, that you're going to find one of the raids that you need to roll passives or to craft one of these top 4 units. And I do always recommend that players actually roll their passives prior to crafting the units, because it is cheaper, it is less shards to roll for mythics, to roll for passives on mythics or shiny mythics, than it is to roll on raid or shiny raid characters. And if you guys didn't know, you can pass your passive from the mythic into your raid unit. I have other videos on that you can go watch if you're interested in how to do that. Next of all, we have some like the mid-tier secrets. So the mid-tier secrets and the mid-tier shiny mythics, they're all still, you know, viable units. If you happen to get those several updates ago, like you have, let's say you got a lucky Alice or a Dulcon, or even just like a shiny Stark or Heathcliff. Those are still great units to use in this mid-tier. They're good transition units. So like if you're using a shiny Heathcliff, it might be worth it to go back and finish, like I said, your shiny raid unit and upgrade that. And once we get down below JayCee, okay, a lot of players, just because a secret is very rare, they think that it's better to go back and get a mid-world secret instead of opening in the higher worlds, because it's a lot less yen to get something like a Hawks or a Doflamingo than it is to go for the highest world regular raid character, right? But that's a mistake, because not only could it take you a lot longer, like it is going to cost a lot less yen, that is accurate. However, it could be hundreds of thousands of opens for you to get a Hawks, and that takes a ton of time. So even if it doesn't take very much yen compared to the highest world, it just takes a ton of time. And so it's much more efficient for you to be opening in the upper worlds, and you get the benefit of getting the experience from those worlds. As we get down into this lower area, all of these units are basically just transition units. So these are for new players in the game. So I'm actually going to do a Noob to Pro series where I start out from level 1. And I know a lot of YouTubers do those series, but the reason why I think I could offer something beneficial is because probably what I would do is I would take like 800 Robux and I would show you the most efficient way of leveling and creating a strong team in the game. Because I think I have a lot of strategies that most YouTubers don't implement in their Noob to Pro series. But I want to show you guys how quickly you can actually catch up to a lot of players just by spending, you know, $5 to $10 in this game. And even if you're free to play, all of those Noob to Pro tips will still be applicable. The only difference is it's just going to take you longer. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. And I will show you guys that really you never should be spinning down here in these lower areas. You're pretty much, the idea is just to push to the upper worlds as quickly as possible. And I'll show you kind of how to do that. But yeah, this is basically wraps up the DPS rankings for version 14. The game is in an extremely balanced position at the moment. One more thing that I wanted to mention is that I am going to be doing an updated passive tier list for you guys. And with that video, I want to kind of explain how you can compare one unit with one passive to another unit with a different passive using this damage ranking list and using the passive scalings. And that way you can I can help you guys answer some of the more nuanced questions about which units you should use on your team when you have a lot of different levels and different passives among your fighters. So look out for that, and look out for a lot more videos I have planned for this week and this weekend. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Malo Alpito. Thanks for watching, and peace. I'm out of here.